My people, it's your guy, the Niger Englishman, and we are back here, Tunnel TV setting. And no more, we've had another weekend of football. There's been things happening. But one thing that remains consistent every weekend, it seems, is Manchester United dropping points again. Everybody coming into Old Trafford, treating it like a brothel. Everybody, they score goals up and down, left and right. Upon all the remontada for Europe. They came back to reality when it came to the Premier League, and Manchester United did what they do. Also, Liverpool about to secure the title with 3 more points. Arsenal cruise past Ipswich. City making their last bid to get into the Champions League. Who knows? Forest are looking shaky. Villa, that top 5 race is looking madness. But we're going to chop it up today. Let's go. Oh yeah, now my people, let me know. DM me if you want to jump on the stream and have your say about the top 6 this weekend. But you know what? There's a team that I'm going to start by talking on today, and the reason I'm going to start by them because for some reason their fan base think I don't like them. I've been critical of them all season, last season as well. I told them how I believed it was going to be for them. I said that they won't make the top 5 this season. They laughed at me. I gave them the reasons why they laughed at me. They were all up in their high horse, top of the fighting for the title. They even told us they were in the title race. But there's one of their fans, and this is the reason why he's backstage. I'm about to add him to the show. This is the reason why I say it's important to ask these Chelsea fans when they started following the club, because that will let you know where their mindset at. Because people from this guy's era, my era of football, around that time, like understand that this process is not an overnight thing. You can't just overnight success this thing. It's a whole rebuild. Like someone took away their soul. Abramovich was their soul at the time. Someone took that away. It's not going to be able to be fixed overnight. It's a process. So you're going to have some dark days. And this guy understands. He's going to discuss Chelsea and the other topics we have today. We got man like Hanif in the building. How you doing, Hanif?
Afternoon, mate. How you doing?
Good, man. I literally just woke up, man. So I feel like rubbish. But boy, it was a good Easter. It was a good Easter, mate. But
it definitely was for the Blues.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna get into it. I want to talk about the West London derby. Look, but me and you both have been quite critical of Chelsea's thing, but we also looked at their project with an open mind and understand what's trying to be developed. But a game like yesterday, obviously, it's not really about projects. It's about local pride, London derby, West London derby. Can we bounce back? Can we get into gear? Everything was going wrong for Chelsea by halftime. 1-0 down away from home on a bad run of games over the last 6 or 7 games. I'm not sure if you believed at halftime they would turn it around, but they gave one of the best 45 minutes of 2025 that team this season. And they turned it around the last 10 minutes and won the game. What's your thoughts on the game, Hanif? Let me know your thoughts. And how did you see it coming?
Nobody saw it coming. But first half, I thought Fulham were clearly the favourites of that half. I think as a Chelsea fan, I thought we're fortunate it's 1-0. I didn't feel that Fulham took advantage of the opportunity that presented itself in that first half. If anybody wants to watch, I felt it was a domination really, because it's just Fulham were just clear. Iwobi was having the game of his life, and that lad at left back as well. He had a good game. Thought Reece James was poor. You heard any criticism yet? No, probably not. You probably won't hear it. You probably won't hear it. Yeah.
It's the golden boy. You're golden boy. You can't.
Yeah, it's definitely golden. There is that. But they fully deserved their lead because of the way they played, and that's not Maresca's fault. Maresca receives a lot of hate, and I'm very critical of him too. But it wasn't his fault that we conceded yesterday. It was the fault of Reece James thinking he could body a player, and that's what happened. He tried to body him. If you watch the replay, Second half, he made a couple of changes and it brought us to life. I think he probably gave them a good rollicking at halftime and just let them know that just remember who you are, remember who you play for, and you can turn this around. And with the two changes he made at halftime, sprung us into life. Sancho, he's hot and cold as usual, but he turned up yesterday. He played really well, and I just thought once we got into the game, I thought it was going to be a draw. I'm not going to lie. If I'm honest, I
Yeah.
thought Fulham deserved a draw, but you take what you can, and Neto, for all his criticism, turned up yesterday and got us the winner.
Okay, perfect. Because I wanted to talk about a couple of players and individual performances. One of them was Neto, because he, as you said, he's had a lot of criticism. But one thing I'll give Maresca is he's found a way to kind of keep him fit all season with how he's used his minutes, and I've got to give him some what's it called, some praise for that, because previous managers, you see Neto in and out like all throughout the season. He's been given the option, but they've not really quite figured out how to use him for Chelsea just yet. But scoring a last minute winner in the West London derby, can you see him pushing on, or that you just see the continuous inconsistency is going to continue from now because of the development of the squad? What's your thoughts on Neto?
It's probably the latter. Probably the latter, to be fair, because of the way where the squad is and the way the manager is. I don't have Chelsea finishing top four. I just
Top
don't.
five?
I just. Oh, okay, let's lower it a little bit more for us.
So,
Yeah.
look, because of how well
Okay.
English teams are doing this year,
Okay.
5 positions are
Okay.
available. So we got to look at it that way, bro.
There's an opportunity. They're
Yeah.
knocking on the door. They are knocking on the door. Now, every game obviously is a must win, but you just look at the other teams and you just think, I think the other teams are better than us. Um, I just think Villa are on a tremendous run. I think they're a better team overall. I think Newcastle are a better team. Man City, Arsenal and Liverpool are already up there anyway. So
I
look,
hear
we're
you.
gonna fight. We're gonna fight. But I
Yeah.
can't. If are you saying to me, am I optimistic? No.
Now, but do you know what? Do you know what? I wasn't optimistic about the Chelsea thing. Looking at your fixture list towards the end of the season and the form you're on, I wasn't optimistic. But as this weekend is planned out, things have started to look a bit shaky. Like Forest are coming into a bit of bad form. We thought Newcastle had gone, but obviously a big hiccup against Aston Villa on the weekend. It wasn't like a 1-0. It was like a proper thrashing as well. Okay, City are still doing what City do. Villa are now in the mix. It seems like remember at the start of the season when no one really wanted to claim the top spot. It's kind of like that with this top 5 race. Is like nobody is now in a position where they've
It's
gone
it's
clear.
it's gonna
Everyone's
it's
in the
gonna
mix
be
now.
open. Yeah, it's gonna be open until probably the last game of the season. It will be that close. But I guess it all comes down to what Chelsea do at home, because the home form's not been great this season. Away from home, we're pretty decent. Um, but you just the first half frustrates me, and the reason why it frustrates me is because you can see tactically what we're trying to do, and other teams have worked us out now, where we push our right back into the middle. Yeah, that's plan A. If plan A doesn't work, what's plan B? What's plan C? I just don't understand why. I can only speak about myself or our team. Why our manager does not have doesn't have a plan B or a plan C, especially when you can see that the boys are not doing well tactically. You could quite clearly see after 15 minutes there needed to be a change. There had to be a change made, because Iwobi was getting the ball and he was absolutely harassing us. They were all over us, and you could tell the midfield battle was not being won. And our fullback and Chalobah were under constant pressure. They just were. So for me, that's what's frustrating, and that's what I hate to say it, but I hope I am proven wrong. I really do. I really do. But I just don't know what Maresca's going to do with the boys. He just he usually sticks with it. And fair, yesterday I give him his props. He did change it. He brought on the boys and they turned it on. I give him the props for that, and
No, they did.
and
They
and
did.
he des- and he deserves a lot of credit for that, because a lot of people were critical, and I've said my piece on the manager, and I said, look, we judge you at the end of the season, but
Now I hear it.
yesterday
I hear
we
it.
gave ourselves a lifeline.
But
We are in the mix.
What I want to say is it definitely helps when you got products from your academy that you can rely on as well. Like, is it Tyreek George? Some call him Sukayo Baka, like the fake Saka or whatever, because he does have a
Yeah.
crazy resemblance of Saka. But obviously, they're different types of players. But scoring, I think that was his. If correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was his first Premier League goal in a West London derby to put his team back in the game. Like, what are your thoughts on Tyreek George? Is he someone one to watch for the future, or just a flash in the pan that will get a few games for Chelsea? Like, well, what can we expect from this guy? Like, do you know much about him?
I don't know much about him at all. I don't watch it. I don't watch it. If you've made the Chelsea squad, fantastic. You deserve to be up there. Do I think
Have you
he
liked
should
what you've
stick a?
seen so far?
Yeah, it looks good. It's full of energy and it's something different. The good thing is you get the opportunity, don't you? But the
Yeah.
thing is this: we've seen it from other clubs that whenever young players come through, you have to allow them to make mistakes and allow them to grow. If he keeps coming off the bench and making an impact, hey, we welcome that. We definitely welcome that because that's what it took yesterday. It took a young man to, open the floodgates, and we got going. So fair play to him. I just hope we don't go overboard with the young kid.
I hear it,
We
man.
let
But
him,
Chelsea,
we let him flourish.
to be fair, typically Chelsea, like if young kids do make it into the team with Chelsea, they don't usually get wrong with them. It's rare they do get in the team, but when they do, Chelsea are quite good with them. I think in the past, if
It depends on how you. It depends on how you look at it. They're good when they go out on loan and they come back and they prove themselves. Yes, yeah, in that
okay,
respect.
fair,
Lukaku,
fair.
Reece James, Mason Mount. You know, Chalobah, we let him go, but then
Sure.
we've got it back. But Chalobah was good before anyway. So I think it all depends on what type of career you want. If you ask me as a representative of that young man's player, what do I think? What do I think he should do? I think he should get the hell out of Chelsea and go and play somewhere where he's going to get regular football and not in the Premier League, because I just think the European leagues are a bit more youth friendly on young players. But if you want to stay and develop at Chelsea Football Club and you're willing to come off the bench, hey, why not? Well, but you can't guarantee the minutes, and you can't rely on young men to get you out of trouble.
Bro, I see. Do you know what I see? It's interesting speaking to Chelsea fans. Like, you're such a realistic fan, bro. Such a realistic fan, and someone else that's jumping as well is quite a realistic fan. We're kind of wrapping up the Chelsea talk, but we're gonna bring him back in because the Chelsea team. I mean, the consensus on social media. If I had some I guess younger fans on the panel, they might be a little bit more braggadocious about their chances of getting the top five and where the squad is at and who's good and who's what and whatever. But FX, regardless of what you think about where the development of the squad is or Enzo Maresca is, what you will probably agree is that right now Chelsea in a position where they can find themselves in the Champions League next season. But do you think they'll do it?
Hopefully. Big ups to everybody though. Nice one.
Big
Good
up.
to be here. Nice walk, Nigerian Englishman. Big ups to the next panelist right there. Can't see his name, but I'm sure I'll see it later. Chelsea is I don't know, man. It's just 3 years of these new owners, and you could tell that everything is data based and whatnot. But if you want to talk about the squad and the coach, Enzo Maresca is definitely inexperienced. From the championship with Leicester, we saw that with Leicester last season when they won the championship. Very good first half of the season. Second half of the season, a number of tinkering, and they start faltering. The likes of other clubs like Ipswich and all that almost caught up with them, but eventually they won the league. So similar to what he's done at Chelsea. Started first half of the season, was second. Everybody started getting, a number of Chelsea fans started getting ahead of themselves, thinking we're in a title challenge and whatnot. Even Nigerian Englishman used to make fun of me back then, and I was like, nah, it's not happening. It's not realistic. We're punching above our weight, and eventually we've seen it. Still a very young squad for sure. And that inexperience is glaring from what Maresca has done. Started tinkering again in the second half of the season, for example, playing Reece James as a defensive midfielder, resting players, constantly rotating, like giving a lot of preference to the Conference League, which, in my opinion, is just damn right disrespectful, trying to make everybody happy. And, of course, his comments don't help as well, You could tell
Like
that...
what? Such as what?
Say that again?
What type of comments? What type of comments are you referring to?
Oh, I mean, when his post-match, conferences where usually when Chelsea draw or lose games, he doesn't sound disappointed. He doesn't sound like someone that has that, mental strength to say that this is a disappointment.
Do you think that's based on FX? Do you think that's based on him as a manager, or do you think that's based on the type of what's the word, kind of security that the board has given him in his contract?
The second one, yep, it's that. It's the kind of security, it's the kind of conversations they had when they signed him. That look, we're not, and he said it himself. We're not expecting top 4. We're not giving you like a target to just improve the squad, give us a style of play, and make us competitive again, really. So because they didn't give him all those targets, he's kind of okay and chilled. Like, all right, you guys know I'm a bit inexperienced. I'll just start coaching. Right.
I go day next year, so you guys can shout, basically. All those ones there.
Yeah. So it's secure. So, and the body language and the statements don't help. I think also that time when we were on a very good run, especially in the first half of the season, and constantly talking down on not us being in a title challenge, of course, affected the players. These players are on social media. These players they watch all these press conferences. These players banter amongst themselves. That's not the right thing. That's not the Chelsea model. That's I don't think I've seen any coach say that since I've been a Chelsea fan. So there's always that high level of expectations. You should always be disappointed when you drop points, either draw or lose. Maresca just feels comfortable. But besides that, the style of play, the football is good. I have to give him that.
You know what? Like, especially yesterday, man, I've been quite critical of Chelsea, man. They really turned it on in the second half. And they have given their fans some hope for the back end of the season. And also, I've also said, if Chelsea somehow pull off this top 5, like, I think the whole league has to give them their props. Not because they're sensational squad or whatever. I think because if you look at the run of games that they have towards the end of the season, if they pull it off, they're gonna have to put together a really solid run against some quality sides. And if they do that, that will definitely hold Maresca in good stead. They'll definitely hold the squad in a lot of confidence leading into the Club World Cup as well. And who knows where that could lead. But regardless, I'm not trolling. I know Chelsea fans think when I criticize, I'm trolling. Regardless, Maresca must get that, like this next window. He must get it because of the way you dealt. Because of the way you dealt with the Poch situation. If Poch was here and you guys in the same situation, maybe it's something that could be reevaluated because it would have been his second season, etc. But you got rid of the guy that got you close to top 4 to another guy getting you close to top 4, and it doesn't make sense. Like you have to go through a level of pain with somebody to find some sort of solution. And I guess it might be unfortunate it has to be at Maresca because he's not maybe everyone's cup of tea, but you're in a situation where you got to give him the shout. Would you agree, Chelsea fans?
I mean, just this last point, like, I won't say it's similar to Arteta and Arsenal, but I mean, Arteta has done 6 years at Arsenal, and when he joined too, it's not similar to Chelsea where you spend 1 billion, buy a number of youngsters and all, but you could tell Arteta was buying stopgaps in the Williams, the David Luiz, trying to carve out his team, then eventually start targeting his main players, eventually getting the likes of Declan Rice, Merino, and whatnot. So that's what has happened with Chelsea. You could tell that the sporting directors have made a squad for Maresca and play with it. The only player that Maresca brought to Chelsea, in my opinion, who has been a more or less below average is Drewsby Hall. And he's not even giving him
that was supposed to be his guy.
Exactly. You haven't even given him enough games. So, and definitely you could tell he's not up to the level. Of course, the injuries too hasn't helped us. Someone like Romeo Lavia was one of the reasons why we played very well in the first half of the season. When we had Romeo Lavia and Caicedo in midfield, it just gave us that security. And Lavia knowing how to beat the press when there's a high press going
Like,
up.
yes and no. I just don't think you guys were ever in a situation where you could rely on Lavia. Yes, he gave you a couple of good games, but it was just so sporadic. So I think that's a problem that you guys need to really look into this summer.
Yeah,
Are you going
we
to
need
send him out on loan? Are you going to buy someone replacing him? What are you going to do? But something needs to be done about that Lavia situation.
no, Andre Santos, Nigerian
Okay,
Englishman.
okay.
He's gone on loan 2 years in a row now. He's a hot prospect for Brazil. The Brazilian captain for the under-20. I think he's been drafted into the national team now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Top player. He's a very, very good box-to-box midfielder. Defensively, very good. Creatively, very good as well. So I feel he's learned a lot. Just the way you guys sent Saliba out for 2 years, I know. I'm hoping Andre Santos comes back and understands what the Prem is about, because that's what we need. If Lavia keeps on getting injured, hey, it's bye-bye or send him out on loan.
Literally.
I'm really unhappy that we sold Cesar Casadei to Torino. That was another hot prospect. Maresca didn't use him well. Italian.
Who are all these names? These Chelsea guys, man. I love you guys, but all these names are just throwing. This guy, Palmeiras, all these guys. I don't know, Kai Casade, or all these guys, man. There's so much going on at Chelsea, man. Smash the like button, my people. Whether you're watching now or watching on the replay, smash the like. It does great things for our community. But guys, I mean, we talked about the Chelsea thing. They look like they're on the upward trajectory. 2 wins in a week. Oh no, well they didn't technically win the midweek game, but they went through the tie to the semi-finals, and they won their weekend's game. But there's a team that it seems every weekend when their mates are winning, collecting points, there's one team that they know themselves as the Red Devils that just keep being down in the dumps. It's like they can't even enjoy a period. They were doing the remontada. We showed them how to do it. They had a great night at Old Trafford. The momentum was with them. They wanted to carry that momentum onto the next game. Manchester United invited the Wolves. They invited the Wolves into Old Trafford. And the Wolves ate all the rats. They ate all the rats in the stadium, but also left with the W as well. Manchester United 0, Wolves 1. I mean, Hanif, man. I don't know if you watched the game, but
Hanif, big ups, Hanif. I can see you now. Sorry to interrupt. Nice work, Hanif. I'm just big ups, Hanif. I'm not wearing my glasses.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, Hanif, I mean, like, is it a situation with Man U where it's like, fuck it, we because Jamie O'Hara, I don't know if you watched it. I hate Jamie O'Hara. I think he doesn't have the best football takes, but he had me in stitches on the pre-games to that game. I've never heard this said about Man United. He goes, this game, Man United versus Wolves, is likely to be a dead game because both teams are safe. Can you imagine? That's how they're talking about Man U being safe, you know.
I think whenever I think of Jamie O'Hara, I think incompetence is something that's high on the agenda, because he comes out with the silliest comments. But I don't listen to him, or I don't listen to many of the Sky Sports punditry, because I think it's very biased and silly. Unless they've got someone of class, then I'll listen to them, but I won't listen to anybody else. But saying that, look, Manchester United, when you don't play your best players, especially they needed Bruno in that game, you got rid of Bruno, you lost the experience, you lost your best player. And to be fair to United, they did have a go. They just didn't create as many clear-cut chances as they needed. Rasmus Højlund gets a lot of criticism from Man United fans, and I understand why. But if you look at the chances created for a striker like him, you can't argue with the output then, because he doesn't receive many chances. And that young Man United team, some of those lads will be playing for Man United next season. They just need more experience. They get more experience, they'll be top 10 next season. They'll survive this year. They just need experience and leadership. But in terms of Wolves, scoring from a free kick, and it was okay, you got your job. But that's all they needed to do to beat Manchester United. And I just think that Man United, it's either Europa League or bust, isn't it? Really, all their eggs are in one basket. They're not going to make top 10, and it looks like they're looking to break Chelsea's record as well in finishing. They want to finish in the bottom half of the table. So, well, or near enough relegation. But I just think when you look at all the problems, look at all the issues, look at all the money that's been spent, I feel sorry for the coach. I think a fantastic coach has been set up to fail. I think he was probably lied to. They probably said to him, "Listen, we're going to get you 2 or 3 in January." He got 1, and he's a decent player, that lad that he got. But you need more than that. But in terms of Wolves, they've got a new manager. They seem to be doing the business, and I think if Manchester United can get Mateus Cunha, I think that is a step in the right direction. Who knows what it'll cost, but Cunha is a player.
I think the Cunha one only works depending on who else they get, bro. Like if he's the main man and they just do a lot of fluff around it, it only looks good depending on who else.
I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be the main man. I think Bruno will be the main man for a while yet until
in terms of the main signing. I think there's some areas that they need to.
I don't think they'll have a main signing. I can't see the Man United board looking to. I don't think they'll be getting any.
They need about
I'd be surprised.
6 players, bro. 6.
I think they need about. I think they can get away with for about probably it's between 4 and 6 depending on who they let go and sell. But ultimately, Man United need a midfielder. They need a wing back. They need a winger, and they need a striker and a goalkeeper. So I think that was 5. And but I think, but I can't see them spending more than 50 million on one single player. I think they're going to be looking for good experienced players
in the market this year.
100%. And I think Radcliffe will have to, because he's the one that's made that decision sacking Ten Hag. The one thing that Ten Hag realized was, and I think a lot of people, I didn't give him his credit for it, but I think he deserves some credit, was he saw the players, he saw the talent, and he saw this is an absolute shambles. These guys can't play football, and they can only play counter-attacking football. So he could only do what he could with what he had, even though he spent a lot of money willy-nilly.
Ten Hag right now would not be in the position that Man United.
I understand that, but you need to ask yourself this question, right? A lot of those Manchester United players, apart from this season's signings, have been there a long time. They've been there a long time, and they've not contributed enough. And some 1 or 2 of them have come through their academy who could not handle. Listen, play for Man United it's a different level. And some of them, melt in that pressure. They can't do it. But then when they leave Manchester United, you look at McTominay now, he's flying. You look at Rashford now, you're like, whoa, because the pressure is different.
The cancer is Manchester United. It's not the players, right? No, but wait, before
I think that's I think it's multifaceted, isn't it? I think there's more than one issue there that you have to resolve at Manchester United. But all I will say is this, right? United are having the same issues that Chelsea are having. The board have got it wrong this summer. Their first summer was going to be big, right? So whoever you were going to sign, you had to get it right in order to stabilize the club, stabilize the foundations. They got it completely wrong. Radcliffe and co got it completely wrong. He got it so wrong. He sacked Ashworth, who they were after for months. Remember, the guy was on holiday from Newcastle because they were after him and they couldn't get him straight away. So Radcliffe, whoever pushed the button, and I think it was Jim Radcliffe himself, whoever pushed the button to get rid of Ten Hag, he is ultimately responsible for Manchester United's position at this moment in time, because he does not understand football. Because if he understood football, he would have thought, bloody hell, about Ruud van Nistelrooy, he will get them over the line in most games purely because of who he is.
Yeah, the heritage, the legend,
exactly. But that's the thing.
He didn't see it. But also,
of course he didn't. Of course he didn't, because he went for the manager too early.
No. On top of that, no. It's not just him. Also, Amrin has to take a lot of blame for this, because he didn't.
That's fine. No, I agree with that.
Now he saw the mess he was coming into. He's top of the league in the Portuguese league. If he backed himself as a manager, he'd be like, I'm gonna win this league, and they're still gonna want me at the end of the season, rather than buying their fucking ultimatum of now or never. Like, Who are Man United? Man United are not in a position where they can start giving managers ultimatums, bro.
I think they can though, are they?
It ain't
Nigel, they
all
can.
it ain't rosy at Old Trafford, bro. Like what?
No, I know it's not, but they can though, innit? But they
every
can.
manager in the last 10 years has tarnished their reputation by going to Man United. How about that?
No, but you
How about
okay. He made. I agree with you. He made the wrong decision. But the thing is he made that decision thinking that he wasn't going to get that job because that's the job he wanted. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. But the thing is I'll give Amorim one thing. He's sticking to his principles. I'll give him that.
For sure. Before, I want to bring in FX
Yeah,
here.
sure.
Like Miguel said, big up Migs, man, my guy, man. Yeah, I definitely need to call you, man. Big up, smash the likes, man. It's all psychological. Amorim has even conceded the season. It's all about Europe for them. Do you think that's where the players' mindset is? Because the season's so bad, because they know they can't get relegated, just try out some new things in the Prem and then go all in for Europa. Do you think that's what's going on, or they're just really that bad?
Oh yeah, for sure. You've got to remember that Amorim didn't have a pre-season with this United squad, and also it's pretty evident that this United squad are not fit enough. They don't run enough. Ten Hag definitely must have done something wrong during their pre-season. They're lethargic, and teams in the Prem just steamroll them. Teams run more than them, and that's why it's easier for teams in the Prem to actually play them and, of course, win them. You know, Wolves have beaten them home and away this season. First time in God knows how many years, in over 40 years.
Was it 6 points? Oh my God.
Yeah, 6 points. Yeah, and away. You know, so it's that, and I totally agree with what Hanif said. It's hard for you to turn down an establishment, an institution like Manchester United, especially if you're a young coach. Amorim is just starting; he's just in his 40s, and he's not established himself on that marquee elite level for him to tell them that, look, guys, I'm not coming now. I have to win the league with Sporting Lisbon, do what I have to do in the Champions League with Sporting Lisbon, and if I win the league and all that, then you guys can come back and meet me. I'm not going to take this middle of the season because I know what I'm walking into. That's what you should have done. So yeah, the priority is to focus on Europe. The league is not as fast. The Europa League is not as fast as the Premier League. Teams allow you to play your football, and the press is not as crazy as it is. You don't do a lot of running unlike the Premier League. So that's why he's kind of understood and is managing the squad towards that. But I feel the bus stop is Athletic Bilbao. Bilbao will actually teach them.
Hey, do you know what? As more and more I watch every year, I watch this game called football, man. I can't call it, man. I can't call it again, bro. It's too much now, bro. Like there's a scenario that England do a clean sweep of all the European trophies this season. That could potentially happen. There's a chance that they could end up winning nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's so like if you had told me in the second half of that extra time, will we still be talking about Manchester United in this Europa League? I'll be like, game done now. The game is done. More or less, everyone closed their eyes, but the Man United players, like, so I hear you. There's two things I do want to ask though, because before we move past this Man U segment, is it does seem that that's what Amorim is doing in terms of how he's using the squad and the rotations he's making. But if they don't then win the trophy, will the fallout as a result of it be a lot worse than if they just focus on winning games no matter what competition right now? What do you guys think? Do you reckon if they don't win the Europa, it could have even worse of effects on the squad because of how he's ended the season? Or you don't think it's really going to play a part?
I think what has happened is, Jim Ratcliffe came out to talk about, he had it was like a month ago or so, we had like a one-on-one interview with one of these guys talking about the mistakes United made and whatnot, the monies they spent. And of course, to an extent, they made a bunch of mistakes, really. They shouldn't have given Ten Hag a new contract last season or so because he won the FA Cup. And with that, he signed a number of players, and a number of those players are just not good enough. So what Amorim would have at the end of the day, once the season ends, even if they don't win the Europa League, be like, look, most of these guys are not my players. Most of these guys cannot meet up to the kind of demands of what I want to play. Because to be honest, if you look at United, especially against Lyon, you can see a style of play under Amorim. And as Hanif said, I agree with that. He's sticking to his philosophy, and I like that. There's a style of play. Unlike when they were with Ten Hag, It was so easy to play through the middle. You always see that gap. It was like a big hole. It was like Moses splitting the Red Sea. It was so easy to play through. It was so easy to play through United, but now they're a bit more difficult. I felt Lyon was just inexperienced, and the theater of dreams just came to life, and it swallowed the Lyon player.
The decision went against them. That player getting sent off, that was the turning point in that game.
Yeah, well, that too as well.
Facts. Even still, they should have got it done, but that changed everything, bro. 100%. You see Ten Hag, yeah. One thing I do see it happening is if they do get this trophy done, this Europa League done, I believe it helps him buy time. It helps him buy time in terms of like Arteta did. If he messes up a little bit last season, he has more of a chance. So it'll help him buy time for that following season. But I think he needs to get it done to show that there's some to give the fans something to hold on to, because Man United fans, I'm not gonna lie, it's so enjoyable watching them not really know what to do right now. They badly want to be like, let me have blind faith because this is only stupid until it's not stupid anymore and things come through. Or fuck, I need to be hammering out because we're freaking 13th and no matter win, lose or draw, we're always in bloody 13th. Now what's going on? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's so mad just watching them. One thing that I will tell you, Man United fans, is we are going to keep applying pressure on your neck. No matter, we don't care about rebuild, C builds, she builds, and all that. We don't care about any of that rubbish. We just enjoy pain. Manchester United in pain. That's all we love. Big up Naf for the raid right now. Big up to everyone in the comment section. But we're here for the pain. But just understand, if you are able to sit through this pain, Man United fans, there's a chance there's light at the end of the tunnel. But you guys got to take that risk right now. Your board have put you in this situation, and I fucking love it, mate. Smash the like, share, comment, and subscribe. So, what are you saying?
Can I just add this last part? I feel what United just might work out. It just might. I might be wrong, but it's similar to what Chelsea was trying to do with Poch, because they looked at it like, okay, Poch, all right, we finished 6th, but the football is not that great. The second half of the season was good. We finished strongly and all, but this is not what we want. All right, bye-bye, adios. Let's get in the manager that won't start afresh. But United saw that with Ten Hag and were like, no, we're not going to do a Poch where we allow you to finish the season. You're actually messing up. There's a possibility the second half of the season, United might do well under Ten Hag. You know what? Get out, get in Amorim.
Just get out. Are you saying that they got rid of him because they couldn't risk him having a decent end to the season?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was more like a test. Like, you know what? Throw him in the deep blue sea. Let's see what you got. Now, start afresh next season. Now you understand how brutal this league is. Get in your own, one or two of your own players. Have a good summer. Have a good preseason, and let's go. So I feel United,
you know what?
We're trying to play that trick of, I want this guy to get used to the league quickly, and by the time next season, 25-26 season, we're good to go. So it might work out for them. You never know.
Do you know what? I think they're like, as much as I troll Man United, and I love to step on their neck. You know me, I can't stand those bloody mother suckers. They've given me a lot of turmoil in my childhood, so that's why. and I'm okay. I'm open enough to admit it. Yeah, they are. There's a lot of pain. There's real hate there. So, but what I'm seeing with Matt, it could be like a genius thing happening. I guess Amorim's been lucky that there's 3 teams in the Premier League that are just shit, so nobody's getting relegated in it. That might have helped the situation because it gives him some breathing space. But also, this could be the genius. Let me just use everybody in the squad. Let me see what these guys are really about. I've got kind of a preseason before preseason. I can get rid of them by the end of July, get my players in, maybe integrate some youth team players into the preseason training, and maybe I could find a couple gems there and have a good summer. And then I think, obviously, I don't think they should treat the next season just like Chelsea. And the reason why I'm mentioning Chelsea is that you guys with Poch, you went from 12th to 6th, which is progress, but you sacked him. If Man U go from 14th to like 8th next season, it might not be where the Man U fans want them to be, but it's fucking progress. It's a journey. It's like you get behind this thing. As much as I've laughed and teased this whole process, if he can make progress and you can see a style of play get behind this manager. Smash the like button. Big up Never a Foul for the raid as well, guys. But I guess we got to kind of quickly talk about these fuckers that are just coasting to the Premier League title, man. It's getting boring. I'm gonna give them 3 minutes. We'll maybe have a comment on them each because when it comes to Liverpool right now, it's like it's the inevitable is about to happen. Like it's only a matter of time till they win the title and they're just coasting. I mean, I know nobody expected Leicester to do anything yesterday, but it was quite interesting to like the 70th minute when it was 0-0. They're like, ooh. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Part of me would like Liverpool to lose back-to-back games just to see what their fan base are like, just to see if there's a little bit of jitters, just to see, even though I know they've won it, just to put them under a little bit of pressure because they're coasting right now. They're commenting on every team in the league because they can, and another victory on the weekend, bro. What can we say about this Liverpool side this season, Hanif, man?
Well, I think the team's not playing at the efficient rate that it can because they know they've got nothing else to play for. I don't think they're in any other trophy. And getting knocked out of Europe, I just think they're just cruising now till the end of the season. I did watch the second half, and obviously Liverpool are applying the pressure on that Leicester team. But the one lad that wants to leave is the one that scored, and it'll be very interesting to see who is going to step up in that Liverpool team to replace those numbers that Trent provides, regardless of what they think of Trent. Those numbers are important. And also the level of creativity he provides, the passing, regardless of what you think of Trent, right? When it comes to going forward, he's one of the best right backs in the world. That's why that's why he's gonna sign with Madrid. Real Madrid know this guy's numbers are sick. That's why they want him. And I think it'll be very interesting to see whoever it is, whoever they purchase or whoever's stepping in for that for Trent, what's gonna happen next season, because even
And if
Liverpool fans know there's gonna be a drop off from them, because the left hand side doesn't give you much anyway, because Trent usually provides it. Now, once Trent goes, those numbers are going to reduce, and it'll be interesting to see where Liverpool are next season. They will be competing, but the numbers will not be there, and it's going to be interesting to see how Arne Slot, whoever he replaces Trent with, what he does in order to keep Liverpool up there challenging for the title. But look, you have to respect Liverpool.
Hanif, 1 second. Like before you continue with that point, Miguel said Liverpool only won this year because everyone else's quality declined. This Liverpool team would not win any of the previous years. Do you think that's accurate or pretty harsh on what Slot's achieved this season?
Harsh, because if that was my team, I'd be like, yeah, we're just better than you. We're just better. Look, ultimately, right, the league is the true test of where a team finishes.
Consistency.
Turn up to your games. Have fire in your belly. This is why the great Manchester United, the great Chelseas, the great Arsenals, they had fire in their belly. They were like, next game. We don't see that in today's culture. It's not about the next game anymore. But the ones that won things, the ones that who we see as great players or great team players, this guy had fire in his belly. He was, or even, when you listen to Rio Ferdinand, he would always like speak to the younger players and say, listen, we've got another game. We're concentrating next week now. It's next week. The fans could enjoy themselves. The players have to be focused at all times, because if you want to win the league, and Arsenal fans know this, you have to focus on the next league game, because every league game is difficult. That's the difference between the Premier League and the Champions League. The Premier League is far and above a tougher, more competitive league than the Champions League. No disrespect to the Champions League, but the Premier League is the true test. And if you look at some of the games that our teams have lost this season, last season, and seasons before that, you're like, how are we losing this? We're losing this because the boys were up for it. The other team was more up for it. It's as simple as that.
Fair. FX, I want you to come in response to what Hanif said, but also this point, because Miguel followed up by saying, yes, they won. My point is, would they have won previous years? So if they came against the teams in previous years, like last season or the season before, this Liverpool team, how they're performing, FX, do you think that they still would have got the job done, or there has been or everyone beating everyone a lot more often has helped their cause this season. Okay, FX is on hold. Okay.
Sorry.
Can I? Oh, sorry. Go on, FX.
Back now. Someone was knocking my door.
It's fine. It's fine. We saw it. Don't worry. It's fine.
I mean, totally disagree with Miguel again. And I have to agree with Hanif here as well. Consistency, fire in your belly is the most important thing. And that's what Liverpool did from the get-go. You have to give a lot of credit to Arne Slot, but also a lot of credit to Jurgen Klopp. Well prepared, well cooked side, and Slot did just change too much. Sometimes managers come in, like, for example, Amorim, he comes and changes to a back three and plays two pivot players, totally different from ETH, So sometimes some coaches mirror what the predecessor was doing, but totally deserve where they are. They're definitely the best team in the league, and Liverpool have shown that they got the grades. But people also forget that they were also in the title challenge last season, and they also bottled it some way. Even before Arsenal, even before people start pointing fingers at us.
Oh, it's frozen.
Nigeria happened there.
So
big up.
Right now, if you were to see teams firing on all cylinders, will Liverpool still compete? Absolutely, they would. It would just go down to the wire.
Yeah, man. The Liverpool haters are coming for him. They're like, nah, you can't be bigging up Liverpool out here. Sorry, we lost you for a second. That's why.
Not bigging up, but what last thing I felt like a number of teams didn't, they didn't to their size, especially a team like a club like Arsenal. Arsenal should have signed a striker. If Arsenal signed a striker, it would have gone down to the wire. Most likely, have gone down to the last game of the season. But it kind of became easy when they didn't have a proper challenger. When Arsenal faltered and the injuries came and whatnot. But yeah, they took advantage of it, and that's what happens. The likes of Chelsea too are more or less rebuilding, youngsters and what still blowing. Also, old United playing rubbish football.
You're spot on. You're actually spot on with what you're saying in terms of they took advantage of a situation. The only frustrating thing for someone like me is that.
Did you guys get that?
We missed the last 15 seconds, bro. But the frustrating thing for someone like me in this season is as good as Liverpool has been, they haven't had to be that good, which is the frustrating thing. I believe if they were taken out of their comfort zone in terms of Arsenal actually chasing them all the way, it might have looked different. Because if you look at their 2 league titles, they've kind of coasted to both of the Premier League titles that they've had. So it would have been interesting to see, but it's our fault for not giving that opportunity to happen. Liverpool did their job. They kept winning games, isn't it? It's up to the rest of the league to join them. We didn't join gang. We didn't get the memo. Like City, I think, which we're going to go into the Arsenal segment next. I think that the issue with Arsenal this season, I don't know how a lot of fans are going to take this. For me, one of the biggest issues for Arsenal this season for me is, I believe, Hanif, the 2 previous seasons, like losing to Pep, really affected Arteta. And City and Pep got into his head. So our whole squad had a Manchester City obsession. So all this season was about is beating City. I don't know if you remember, Hanif, the 2 games we played them this season, we've looked up for it like no other game this season, bro. But 5-1, then go against Newcastle at the same ground and lose 2-0. Didn't see any of the same intensity. We focused all in on City and forgot the rest of the league was about. We beat our big competitors. We knocked them for 5 to be precise, but we forgot to deal with everyone else. Liverpool didn't, which is why I got into this season. But Arsenal, a comfortable 4-0 win on the weekend. We carried on the momentum from the Madrid game, the fake remontada, into winning 4-0 against the Tractor Boys, Ipswich. Hanif, do you think what's it called? The Arsenal, a lot of the fan base that want Arteta's head are cheeky, are rude to an extent, or they have some valid points in potentially wanting something new with how this season has panned out? Where are you at with it?
I think a lot of them are quiet now since the Madrid game. But look, I think ultimately you have to ask yourselves, is it worth investing in a manager that has taken you from 8th to the top 4 and then competing for the league? Is he worth giving, one, a new contract to, and two, given more money? Now, if you look at the signings, you would say yes, Declan Rice, Odegaard, and there'll be a whole host of others. But I think the problem is obviously patience. Arsenal want the league title more than anything.
Yeah.
It's been a long time and it's almost there. But when you look at Arsenal, have kind of suffered like Liverpool. They've been pipped by a team that's just spent more money than them. They've just got money. City spent crazy money in January. And when you've got that facility open to you, the only thing that you've got for you is being competitive, and hopefully your squad stays injury free. But I think I said Arteta would win a league, and I still believe he wins the league if he's given a big budget for a striker next season, because that's what these top strikers are going to cost you. But I understand Arsenal fans' frustration. I just hope that Arsenal fans are willing to accept that if you do look at another manager, you're willing not to compete for the league, but finish top 4, maybe even Europa League first season, because it might change something that you don't like. It might change the style.
And you know what? I'm going to be devil's advocate here. I'm going to try and speak not as a fan, as a kind of neutral, as hard as it is. But the argument, the pushback from them could be, okay, he's been given money to spend in the attack. He's used that for the likes of Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus. And we're now in a situation using Mikel Merino. Like, who do we blame for that? Number one. Number two, also, what's to say what happened to Liverpool doesn't happen to Arsenal, where there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle in place. A man with more pedigree, with this squad, with a different with a different voice, can take where we're at to the next level. Like, that's the argument that they could come back with, and either one of you, how would you push back on that response?
Go on, FX, push him back.
Nice one, Hanif. I hope I don't go off key here, or off track.
Okay, deal with my issue and then expand on your thoughts.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it boils down to just not making the right decisions at the right time. I think Arsenal also looked at other clubs, title challengers around them, top clubs around them, and looked at, like, how many of them have top strikers? How many of them signed a top 9? Only Manchester City did, really, and maybe Newcastle, but Newcastle are not even there yet. City signed Haaland, and Newcastle got an Isak that everybody wasn't even too sure was going to be who he is right now. Besides that, Arsenal look at it and look at, oh, Chelsea signed Nicholas Jackson and Nkunku. Nah. Liverpool signed, what's his name? Nunes. Yeah. He's faltering. It was, if not for Salah.
And we were linked to him before they got him as well.
And so they looked at it and looked at who else? They looked at Spurs. Oh, Spurs only got Sri Lanka. All right. All right, I'll deal with Kai Havertz. And Gabriel Jesus, I bought him 2 seasons before. I know him from City days. I think I'm fine. We can score goals. I don't really need a striker. That's where he got it wrong. And I think Edu backed him there, thinking that, look, that's true. We can actually win the league without one. But, I mean, City did it once, only one season, where they didn't have a number 9. And I know how Pep toiled that season, But the moment they did the third one and the fourth one, they had Haaland. And that was it. So I think Arsenal just kind of, as you said, they focused too much on City and lost touch with the other guys. And they also looked at the other guys like, they're not a major threat, So for me, those are the mistakes they made. I think not identifying the key areas that they needed to improve on and ensure that they kept some kind of players. So for example, I felt Arsenal should have kept a player like Emil Smith-Rowe. But there's also that conversation where they're saying he wanted to start, he wanted to play all the games. But no, I mean, I'm sure he would have been happy to be a squad player, and he would have played a lot of games, especially with the injury. But aside that, the priority was a striker, and Arsenal missed out on that in January as well. I expected them to go for a striker, even a makeshift or even an experienced striker. They didn't, and I felt that also affected them. But going forward, from what I've seen, from what I've seen with this Arsenal side and what they've done with this season, especially with the injuries and being able to adapt and play teams like Real Madrid and beat them silly 5-1, it kind of proves him right in a way to say, look, I told you guys, I really don't necessarily need a striker. I can actually do this. But you see, where I now disagree with Hanif is you can do this in the Champions League. The Champions League, the quality of football is totally different from the Premier League. The Premier League is tougher, yes, a lot of running, fitness, but the quality of football, you can't compare with the Champions League. So the quality of football and being dogged and rugged and actually be compact and all can actually go in your favor in the Champions League. But if you do that a lot in the Premier League, because week in, week out, you're going to be playing different teams, you're going to get found out. So for me, I think Arsenal has done a really good job so far. Forget the banter, the fact that they finished second 3 times in a row. It's just that missing puzzle really, and taking the right decisions at the right time. And those are the things Arsenal have been known for culturally as a club, not making those right decisions. Even during the Arsene Wenger days, when they bid for Luis Suarez for 40 pounds plus, Arsenal tends to do that. Just make that decision.
Do you know what? Yeah. I look at it like this because I'm very much I've been very much an Arteta in guy. Like Arteta's been my guy. I've sometimes blindly had faith in him in situations. What I will say is the argument I'm looking at is even without a striker this season, if we had the right mentality for certain games, we should be at the very least a bit closer to Liverpool, because my issue is that there's so many positions from winning that we've dropped points this season. Like it's been the amount of draws as well. Like that's what my irritance is. Like I know that people say the striker thing, and I get it, and I'm pretty sure if we did have a striker, it would make things even easier. But even without that striker this season, I do believe the points that we're on should be a lot more. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's a reason enough to get rid of him, but that's why I'm having some. I'm having some, like, do you get what I mean?
Niger, I understand where you're coming from, but we want to know, where do you stand? Where do you stand right now?
Okay, right now, honestly, I'm at. If he doesn't get the Champions
No.
League,
Don't give us an excuse. Where do you stand with Arteta right now?
I'm saying I'm Arteta in.
Right, there you go. That's all you need to say. It'll change at the end of the season.
Ask me again at the end of the season, but I'm Arteta. I'm all the way in. Everyone needs to get behind this man.
If you win the Champions League, does he get the extension?
Bro, if we win the Champions League, my first son is either going to be called Mikel or my first daughter is going to be called Michaela. Remember where
congratulations, my friend. Congratulations.
First, this guy. I'm not playing around. If that guy gets me my first Champions League, I'm Mikel and Michaela.
We want to see the birth certificate then. We want to see the birth certificate when that happens, yeah?
Bro, do not worry, bro. I can see, if I was a tattoo guy, I would have got tattoos, but nah. Mikel or Michaela Fakeye. Remember you heard it first, guys. Smash the like button as well, man. I beg, guys, help us out. Smash the like. Get this video to a minimum 50 likes as well. If it's your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all the support today. Let me get to some of the comments in the comments section. Football Fan View agrees on FX's views. He says he also says the board has a weak mentality. I get what you mean, because even though I don't agree with some of the signings we made in the summer, I believe we could have used that money better. The board had an opportunity to bail out Arteta in January, even with a cheeky loan. I mean, do you not think we could have benefited from loans like an Asensio or Kola Muani in terms of numbers and experience? Like I don't want Muani long term. Don't get it twisted, because I don't rate him, but he's a lot better than having to end up playing a DM as our striker, which is kind of working out right now, which was weird, but that's for a different stream. We're not going to go into that one just yet. Miguel said, would you Arsenal fans prefer someone who's played in the Prem, Ollie Watkins or some Omar? Don't even Ollie Watkins is like 30 now. I beg. Stop talking that guy's name, man.
I guess it depends. I guess it depends on the price tag, doesn't it? If he comes out a decent money, Ollie Watkins gives you 15 to 20 Premier League goals, especially with the chances that you create for your strikers. You just think, yeah, I'd take him at Chelsea straight away. Yeah, it all depends on what the salaries are now, especially our club, because we're not willing to break the bank on the salaries. But if you look at it, I don't know much about Gyökeres. I know he's having a good season. I don't know much about him, so I can't really comment on it. But I think Ollie Watkins is a very, very good player, and he will bag Arsenal goals. And I think Arsenal, if they could get him for like a good deal,
30
then
mil? 30 mil?
Nah, Hanif. He's done. He's 29 years old.
no.
30, wait, hold on. I've got a question. Ollie Watkins for 30M or Gyökeres for 70M? What Arsenal fans saying? I know which one I'm picking, but wait.
Ollie. I'm picking Ollie Watkins.
I'll go for Gyökeres.
I'm picking
I was an Arsenal fan. I'll definitely tell them so.
I just think, right, the reason why I think Ollie Watkins, he comes across as a bit soft, doesn't he? And I think that's puts people off, but he's a really good goal scorer. And I think
the age for me, that's why. It's the age.
I hear it.
Nah, man. I'm telling you, don't worry about the age. He's still in his prime.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want Watkins. I take Gyökeres because of the age as well, man. Unless if we got him on a free, then you're talking. But spending any money. If he was running down the contractor side, I'd take Watkins on a free. But other than that, man, I think if we got him in January, don't get it twisted, I would have been okay with that because we really needed a striker. But I think that boat is kind of sailed for Watkins at this point, man. In my opinion. So, but what I would say, it was just to close the show, guys. Obviously, big up City back, like securing the top 4. Newcastle, none of the Newcastle's reps turned up today, so we're not going to talk about their situation. But I would say, if you're Arteta at this stage of the season, do you put out competitive teams like he put out on Sunday, or do you just say, do you know what? As long as we finish in the Champions League positions, rotate the squad a little bit, give players like Butler or Oyedeji a couple of starts, and then just focus all in on the Champions League? Or do you keep him competitive like he did, i.e. yesterday, where it was quite a competitive team? What would you do if you were him?
FX, you want to go first?
Go for it, Hanif.
I think you put all your eggs in one basket. You go for the Champions League. I think last season, if you think about it, he put all his eggs in one basket and he concentrated on the league. But because you were in the Champions League, he went competitive all the time. I don't think you do that. I think you rest your best players, especially before a Champions League game, and then that game before the next one as well. Rest them or just bring them on, or take them off after half time, because you want your best players ready for the next game.
Yeah,
I think that's what.
Yesterday, and we don't like to see that.
Yeah, and I think that's what should happen. I think a lot of those players would probably appreciate the rest as well, because they know that they're entering into a tornado now where there's going to be so much pressure, and if I'm at my best, I'll probably get through it. So I would say put it all in, because I think mathematically Arsenal are going to get top 4. So the league is more or less done. It depends on what Arteta feels, because Arteta's coaching methods will probably suggest the opposite, where he wants full throttle all the time, every time. And I know some fans appreciate that. So I would put all my eggs in one basket.
Fair. FX, are you the same, or you'd be competitive like he was yesterday in terms of your squad selection?
But then again, what he did yesterday was also important. I've seen Chelsea in positions like this where we're in the semi-finals or going into the final of the Champions League, and we have a number of players. But you also have to play some of your key players, because you don't want them to go cold.
Yeah.
Sometimes
some freshness.
yeah, they get cold and they're not as match fit and match sharp. And when they want to play that big game, for example, against PSG, they're not delivering. That's because they've rested for too long. So sometimes you need them to be a bit sharp. So totally agree, Hanif. Maybe bring them on in the first half or let them have 45 minutes to 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
You just can't afford to rest players for too long because
I think players like the likes of Saka and Timber who've had big injuries in the past, I think they should never play more than 45 minutes in any game in the Premier League this season for the rest of the season.
Can't be cool. You can't rest them.
Did he take him off yesterday? Because the game was done.
Yeah, he took him off. I wish he took him off at halftime, but you know Arteta, he loves the 60-minute thing and it kept him to 60.
But aside that, you have to go for it. I mean, hate watcher, I definitely don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. But then again, you deserve to.
Let's win Europe for England, all of us. Let's win Europe for England. Let's have it.
Where you are, and for sure, you have to go all in. I mean, you play PSG before, you've beaten them in group stages, but it's a totally different kettle of fish, or bowl of fish, if you want to call it that, in the semi-finals. Totally different game. I
don't know. I'm with
you know the last time a team faced two English teams, or both English teams got swept. And this time, one team could sweep through three English teams. It's crazy how you look at things, man. I'm telling you.
But apparently also Spurs fans, we're running it back. Was it 2017 when we were both in finals? We can run it back. We can both win this time.
Oh, Tottenham's still in the Europa League.
They're still in it.
Oh, big up Spurs, man. That's a big story, that.
Hey, we can have Ange versus Amarin final. I can't lie. Social media needs that final. We need that final. It's going to be some fanboys is going to crash and burn. And Miguel, I know, I'm sorry. There was no Spurs chat today because you lot are dead. But more importantly, you have a game tonight against Nottingham Forest. If you'd played, we might have snuck you in. But Spurs against Forest tonight at home. Forest, you must, because you're going into a very, very tough run. You've been hanging around with the big boys this season.
I don't want Forest to win.
Yeah,
FX, we don't want them to win. We want them to lose.
Yeah, we do.
I want Forest to win. I want Forest to lose.
Forest all day. Big up Forest, man. We want them lost in the Forest this night, man. You get me? You get me? But Spurs, Spurs again, just like Man United, you're staying up this season, so just focus on we winning the Europa for Big Ange, mate, because that's who we are. You know what I mean, mate? Big up, smash the likes, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you, Hanif. Thank you, FX, for joining us on the show.
Mate.
Thank you, everyone in the comment section for joining us. Big up, Never a Foul for raiding the show as well. Love the support. Again, if it's your first time, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. And if you've been here before, you're not, pay your rent to us, guys, and drop that like. We want this video to at minimum get to 50 likes, my people. But at the very least, you'll catch me next Monday with another episode of Ops Watch. But who knows? We could do some stuff midweek with some live streams as well. Check out, hit that notification so you're familiar with everything coming on the channel. Until next time. Oh yeah, now.